All right. Good day, everyone. We are officially live. Very excited today to be joined by Gus Demos of Perpetual Assets, delivering another great episode of Cuss with Gus. He really needs no introduction at all. Everyone knows him by now. So in a good and bad way. But anyway,
just like mom used to say.
Yeah, just like the proud mom used to say at home. But so Gus, welcome back, man.
Dude, thank you so much. And again, sorry for last week's debacle. That was all on me and all on Callie for that matter.
Well, I told you, bro, before we went live, I know it's tax season. I know what Uncle Sam does to companies, every year with 30 or 4% tax rate, bro. But if you're getting low, man, we can throw some crypto your way, man,
Dude, we're gonna start a donation button on our website. Anything's appreciated. 10 ounces of silver, whatever you guys want to send our way. Like I told you before we went live, I was just full, no internet, no phone signal, no nothing. So the weather's been shit in Southern California like the last 2-3 weeks. And last Thursday it was like just a constant fucking drizzle all day. Not a thunderstorm, just a slow drizzle. And slowly but surely, first my fucking Wi-Fi tweaked, and then I couldn't even get cell phone, like no service, couldn't text, couldn't do anything. Phone calls would come through like whatever, but for 2 hours it was fucking pure darkness. And per your point, maybe I'm somewhat guilty of what I make fun of the millennials for. Like when technology is just stripped from you, you start freaking the fuck out in a hurry. You're like, what the fuck? Like, so it was a 2-hour like shit show trying to get some sort of connection back. Finally, everything kind of triggered back on. We were good to go, but it was nasty for a while.
Yeah, something like that. When cell phone, text, email, all that stuff goes out, that's when I usually like, you know what? I better strap up. I better get ready. This is it. This is happening. The zombie apocalypse is about ready to go down.
You start pointing the sniper rifle at neighbors just in case. You're like, if we have to fight for drinking water, I'm gonna win. It's fucked up because it shouldn't be that big of a fucking deal, but it's kind of the same thing if you're going out to dinner or you're going out to hang out with the buddies or whatever, and you leave your cell phone at home. Like dude, I feel completely fucking lost. Like I get over it real quick. I'll be like, dude, stop being a pussy. You used to do this all the you used to do this all the time in the 90s. It's not a big fucking deal. So yeah, but you just get fucking used to it, man. And it's hard to go back or imagine life without it once you've gotten a taste of it for so long.
Think of the generation that's growing up without like having to read an atlas or read a roadmap, of directional and where to go, where we're so dependent upon, our navigations on our phone. What would happen like that, where you're in an unfamiliar place, you have no idea where you're going, and boom, all of a sudden you lose all kinds of connectivity. You're down and out. You have no map. I mean, what would you do? Just drive in a circle for the best?
Well, dude, per your point, so the generation before us, my mom and my aunt were here, a couple weeks ago, and mom's, early 60s, my aunt's 70, and they have cell phones, but their cell phones are basically just for calling and fucking FaceTime, right? They're not fully as savvy as me.
Each
or you.
Button's like an inch.
Yeah, dude, there's 3 apps on the whole fucking phone. It's like FaceTime, photos, and phone and texting. But so every time we're like, all right, we're going here, we're going there. I'm trying to show them around, and they're like, well, do you know where we're going? I'm like, no, I don't need to know where I'm going. Just put it in Google Maps. Like, what the fuck are you talking? Need to go know where I'm going? No, I have no fucking idea. But Google Maps does. So I think just like they're not in the dark, but they're not as reliant upon it as we are. And per your point, I think the younger generation is even more so. I think when me and you get up there, when V gets up there, when all of us get up there in years, the youth is going to be so reliant on things. We're there now, but as we get dated ourselves, I think there's going to be new shit coming out on the other side that we have no fucking idea how to use, just because we're gonna be fucking dinosaurs by then.
Yeah, and I keep wanting to make it a point to go to some electronic stores and buy those Motorola two-way radios, that have like 25, 30-mile radius and do it and do something like that. Because, here's the thing is that like most people now, even with like a home line, it's not the same home line that you used to have several years ago. Everything now is like all voice over IP. So like
100%. Yeah. Yeah. No, you're 100% correct. Yeah.
So like in the event you lose communication, you lose communication. There's no talking to anyone.
Well, it's that grid goes down scenario, right? Where it is all the whole system has been overhauled. And you're right. It's all over. It's not the old phones we had in the 80s where, it's the physical phone line. They're all overlapping. Right. With the overhaul of the grid. So if it goes down, it's going to go down in a hurry. And I wish I was more. I wish there were many things we used to do when I first got red pilled, and it was all about fucking doomsday scenarios or the crash of the dollar, apocalyptic scenarios. We'd always joke around on the skills people. You want to have people around you with certain skills, like a guy who's good with a mechanic and a guy who's good with communications and this and that. And the truth is, I have none of those skills.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so what are they going to do?
Let's keep
they're going to trade me off or something.
No, like, what do we need Gus for? To drink whiskey and smoke cigarettes? What the fuck do we need this guy for? I mean, I could shoot within a couple hundred yards. I mean, I'm already with a pistol, and I could talk about gold and shit. But I don't know how, if your neighbor's trying to eat your foot, I don't know how useful any of that is.
In that situation, we're just gonna have to fake it till we make it, bro.
I'm gonna have to pretend I'm a doctor to survive it. Like, here's put a tourniquet on that fucking leg, bro. Don't worry about it. We're gonna keep you alive. So yeah, it's funny, but a lot of those skills have become outdated as so many jobs have become fucking white collar and relying upon tech and shit. So it is useful to be good with your hands, outside of just being able to deal Texas Hold'em.
Yeah, exactly. And some people laugh at those shows, those prepper shows, but a lot of the time they have very valuable information that people don't think of. I mean, truly they don't. Like one of the shows that I was watching had talked about that, one of the most important places in the event that something doesn't happen is going to be anything related to a generator. So you start thinking about like the hospitals, nursing homes, all those facilities where you can try to make it to in the event that you have to find some type of power. I mean, I got serious about this stuff for a while.
Me too. Me too. 8 years ago, when I first woke up 8 years ago, 9 years ago, whatever it was that the majority of my shit was majority of my time, majority of my efforts were spent on that side of it. And it wasn't only until some time had gone by that I'd be like, well, maybe this shit isn't ending tomorrow and I still have to live like a happy life. That I put it on the back burner. But to your point, yeah, a lot of those, I always went in order back then, and even still now, I always went in order of things that you can't live without the shortest periods of time. Meaning, air is number one, then water, then food and shelter are somewhere together. And per your point, once you really start analyzing like power, energy, and power generation, be it propane tanks or electricity or whatever, diesel or whatever, then yeah, dude, there's a lot of shit to cover. The problem is, like with any other hobby, like me and V always, the last couple of months have kind of both got addicted to watches and all that kind of shit. Prepping's the same way. Like once you open up Pandora's box, there's always something you're missing. Like, oh, I need that $1,000 gas mask in case
or I have the underground ways of like all the sewers and everything, because it may not be too safe to travel on the surface, so I may need to go underground to travel.
Yeah, dude, the amount I've spent studying the amount of time I've spent studying water filters is fucking like incredible. So all these different things, all these different scenarios, and at the end of the day, it's useful shit to know. And even if it's not just accumulating all those preps, but actually having some reasonable skills. And I don't think it's only, and I think you could use it in like camping or roughing it scenarios too, not just apocalyptic scenarios. Like it's not a bad idea to know how to hunt or know how to fish or something. Those are all pretty handy things to be aware of.
Well, that's great to know, because perhaps next week I'll talk to B or stuff, but maybe we can change the title of the show to Prepping with Gus or something.
Prepping with Gus. No, the truth. bro, the truth is, I just ordered a pizza. So yeah, I'm not in the woods right now hunting bear. I'm actually eating fucking GMO pizza right now. But dude, I don't know if you guys were the same, but with me, it's like, and we still get clients like this once in a while, and not in a. I don't mean this in a detrimental way. I mean it just I could always gauge how long a client's kind of been quote unquote red pilled by the urgency in their voice. Meaning like the guys who there are some guys who've kind of got red pilled during like the Cuban Missile Crisis that are like, yeah, we'll be just fucking whatever, whenever you get to, it's fine.
Mm-hmm,
other guys who got red pilled in like 3 days ago are like, I need this paperwork done by tomorrow. I'm like, whoa, calm down, bro. the system might not collapse by Friday, dude. Calm down.
It's either two things: they're afraid of collapse, or they're going through divorce and they don't want their wife to end up with their shit.
Yeah, well, that scenario is reasonable. I could live with that because that's a realistic one. Yeah, the sense of urgency always gives it away. I'm like, all right, this guy's been awake for 6 weeks and he's freaking the fuck out that it's all coming down tomorrow. But yeah, there's no. I was the same way, a decade ago. I'm like, oh fuck, it's over. What the fuck? How did I not see that? It's all coming down. But that at the time, 2008 was going. But there's always something that you think is going to come. So. Yeah, fun, dude. Prepping's fucking. I don't know how into it you got, but I was pretty deep for a while.
I don't have like a whole like storage, or I didn't, renovate the house and like make a safe room or go out the backyard and dig down like 100 yards.
Landmines in the back.
I never got that carried away, but to this date, like when a low flying helicopter comes flying over, I like peek out the blinds to see what color it is.
Like, who the fuck is that? Yeah. I eventually too, I came to so at first there's all these ways to kind of encryption for email and search and this and that and your phone. And there's these special phones but dude, it's so hard not to be spied on in this day and age. Live,
they know everything, man.
Dude, that's kind of the position I take. At first you're like, all right, I want my privacy, I want this. You have to go through all these steps and get this phone and only use this search engine and only use this email. But dude, they watch it all.
Yeah,
they watch it all. And the minute you think that you can protect yourself, you're like, oh shit, even my appliances are fucking spying on me. So it's really hard. It's really hard. If they want to fuck you, they're gonna fuck you.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree, and that's what makes me so amazed. Like when these people are acting like they're surprised about Facebook. Like Facebook was really doing that. They were selling my data. They knew they were listening to me. It's like, what do you think the terms and conditions stated? Did you not read half that shit that's in there?
Well, Facebook's been like a fucking government orgasm waiting to happen. I mean, they from the day I opened my Facebook luckily exploded once I'd already been red pilled, so all my Facebook shit is completely fake. It's like straight up Kaiser Soze shit, because I never, that was always a dead giveaway. What I soon got a little bit more, I mean, after the Snowden shit came out and all that, I mean, the fact that Google, if you have Google on your phone and you're not even using it, like they're still GPSing your ass. Like even if the phone's,
yes,
like even if the phone's like they're time-stamped locations, play everywhere you've been, the duration of time you spent there. I mean, that's Orwellian shit. And so some of the stuff is even surprising. The Facebook shit is like you're voluntarily being a dumbass. Like if I'm checking in here, and here's what I'm doing, and here's everyone I know, and here's those people I have no sympathy for. But the people like you turn your phone off and Google's still tracking you on your phone. Like what the fuck?
They knew what they were doing. The controllers knew exactly what they were doing when they advanced from Blackberries to smartphones, and then these apps that could do anything and about everything to manipulate data. I know how V feels about Facebook, and he's slammed it a few times, but I have a little bit different side to it, because I have made some pretty cool connections, using, social media platform, what I thought was intended for. So, everything from, keeping up with some of my family that are very distant, reuniting with, friends that like you hadn't, spoke with in like several years. So I've seen some pretty cool things happen, people that, put fundraisers together to help a family member or a friend who, was in a dire situation. So I see some of the good aspects of it, but then also you hear a lot about the dark side of it, right? The people that are, taking people's information, or they've hacked your system somehow. So you just got to be real careful on how you use social media.
Yeah, the only useful thing I've ever really used Facebook for is to cyberstalk a high school girlfriend. But yeah, so
and look through all her pictures. And,
and pray to God she keep tabs on her, make sure she's getting fatter every year. I'm like, God, this bitch won't get uglier. What the fuck? No, dude, true story. Like everyone's got like the first love and shit, and like the last thing you want to hear is that she won $1 billion. She looks amazing, and she's dating a penis model or something. So yeah, I'm not saying you want them to be utterly miserable, but at the same time, you're like, fuck, God, I wish could you be a little less happy than me. Dude, is Facebook useful for business? Or I personally use it for a photo repository. So meaning that like instead of keeping up all my pictures of on vacation, or I never check in when I am anywhere. Right. But once every whatever, I'll like download. All right, this is Paris 2016 trip. This is just because to free up space in my fucking drive and phone and whatever. So I'll use it for a photo repository, and then I'll use it to make, like, I don't know, once a week I'll post like one smart ass political thing on there or whatever.
Right.
But that's the extent of it. And again, I'm connected to family members from all around the world too. So it's kind of cool for that. Like, don't have your phone number. I'm going to be in the States next week. Blah. I mean, so there's good uses for it. But some people just when you voluntarily give that much data over to a third party, that is perplexing as fuck to me.
Yeah. See, I think Facebook as a whole, yes, their platform is very invasive as far as what it tracks, but the real dilemma I see is with its messenger application. I think that's where the real danger lies, because some people utilize their messenger service for everything. So they can connect their text messages from their phones to it. They can even make phone calls directly from the messenger applications. And now they're doing Facebook is actually out there promoting and pushing messenger like ads. So like I get like message all the time from Messenger saying, hey, we noticed your business post that you posted for this, and you can promote that ad you just did for $10 and everything. It's like, I don't want that stuff. I don't want you to notify me of stuff like that. So Messenger itself, I think, is a much more dangerous thing than Facebook itself.
Yeah, I noticed a long time ago that Messenger was actually being a separate app on your phone.
Yeah.
So
there's a reason for that.
Yeah, Facebook is one app and Messenger is another app, and that struck me as odd even then. So I still have Facebook on my iPhone, but I took off the Messenger app a long time ago.
Well, they do have Messenger Lite, which means that they only spy on you about 50% of the time. So take your choice: Messenger full spying, Messenger Lite half the time.
Orwell a la carte. It's very, very, very clever of them. I mean, you're right. There are useful, practical things for it, but we always find out shit later. And at first, what they initially call us conspiracy theorists for, or tinfoil hat shit, or any of that, we later find out, oh, look, it was all true. Those guys weren't so fucking crazy, right? And everything they're finding out now about all these companies, we already knew. Like, everyone kind of thought was just common sense years ago. Like, yeah, these motherfuckers are spying on us. They're clear. And now it's just come to fruition that, yeah, we were right.
Yeah,
So
but even some of the ad companies, like I remember a few years back learning about these smart ads, like the billboards that they would do, like in the retail stores that actually had sensors on their billboards that they would actually track your eye movement to see exactly what part of the ad would catch your eye, so that they would use that for the, I mean, so this type of technology, this stuff has existed for years, but the thing that I don't understand, Gus, is that how in the hell do these people think that the social media platform would help alter the outcome of an election?
Are you saying, and I didn't want to gloss over it, are you saying the Minority Report technology is already somewhat out there?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Where they could actually do like facial recognition shit. See, I hadn't gone that far down the fucking rabbit hole yet. If that's the case, then that's even more so terrifying. Because I know they're doing like facial and retinal scans at airports when you're doing international travel already.
Yeah, and don't you know, now with Apple, Gus, you can actually use just your face to pay for stuff now too. Did you know that?
No. Is this like on the iPhone 10 or something?
Yeah. So they've kicked the new iPhone X. The new payment system is when you go to pay for something, you just look at your phone and it recognizes your facial features to pay for items.
Holy fuck. Yeah, I thought people were fucking crazy for giving them their fingerprint.
Exactly right.
Well, yeah, like I'm still like 8 versions behind. I'm like, if you want my fingerprint, fuck off. Like a 6-digit code isn't enough. You need a fucking DNA sample. And again, hidden under the guise of it's for your own good, or it's to protect you, obviously. But man, buyer beware, dude. Buyer beware. It's terrifying how fast it's moving. I mean, especially with this all the AI shit too on the other side of it, and the Alexa bullshit in your home and all that. I mean, it's terrifying how fast it's moving.
You're gonna take us down the rabbit hole, huh?
Well, dude, I mean, where is it all going? I mean, are we? And I've debated friends on this who don't share our love of privacy. And they're like, "Are you going to be?" Yeah, we agree with you. It's kind of creepy, but if in 10 years from now, 20 years from now, everyone's living in like their virtual type home where you walk in and everything is voice recognition or face recognition or whatever, are you going to be like are you going to be Ted Kaczynski living in the fucking middle of a field, like not playing by their game? So that's how they sucked us into all this shit in the first place. Like,
yeah, they'll do it. Yeah, they'll do it out of convenience. That, hey, this is going to make your life much better. It's going to make your life easier. If you don't have the money to spend to go on a vacation, we can actually virtually put you in. We're going to get you VR headgear for your family members. You guys can take a virtual vacation.
Well, dude, think about how weird it is that that's kind of, take the Vegas shooter, for example, right?
Yeah.
That they still like quote unquote know nothing about. The red flag with him now is that they say, anyway, you talk to the media, is that he had no digital footprint. Like he tried living as off grid as possible, according to them. Mm-hmm. And so now that's the red flag. Like, it's like, what do you mean you don't have a Facebook account? What do you mean you don't have a Google account? What do you mean you don't? Like, that's like, what are you, Osama bin Laden? Are you a terrorist? Are you this or that? So they might pull the same similar shit with all the voice recognition, fingerprint recognition, face recognition, all the bullshit. Like, if we don't have these on file for you, if you don't have an Alexa in your home, then there's something wrong with you. What are you hiding? I mean, why don't you have this? Are you doing something nefarious in your home? What's going on in there? So I mean,
did you see the video they released of him a couple weeks ago from the hotel surveillance?
No, they finally released something. I'm sure it had to be. It had to be selective as fuck.
It was very selective. It was very, let's think about this. So you're telling me that how many months has it been since that Vegas shooting? It's been at least 3.
I'm thinking closer to 6, maybe.
It probably is. So they finally released the only video that they want you to see. You mean to tell me that the best video surveillance equipment in these casinos are black and white video? I don't think so, right? So
How long was the clip? Was it a short one?
they showed several different angles. I think you can go to what's the thought freedom. Gosh darn it! If you wouldn't have asked me, I would remember. But yeah, it's out there. You can Google. I think it's like a 3 or 4, and it shows just clips of different video surveillance of him. So it shows him in the casino. It shows him for whatever reason why people didn't pick up on this. It shows him bringing what they call like all the bags of weapons. Like he pulls in the carpool. At the has the valet, and they're like unloading, like carrying all this stuff, and they're saying, well, yeah, look at him. Like normally people just have their stuff carried up to their room when they're checking in, but he didn't want that. He wanted to follow them up. It's like, you mean to tell me this didn't send a red flag to someone and say, why is he carrying in like 50 bags of things up into his room? But then again, with technology, if you think about it, Gus, with technology nowadays, they very well could have edited those videos and even probably layered him into those. I mean, what's that one programming called where they can pretty much bring any character into a movie? It's what they did with the Fast and Furious character when he passed away. And not SGI, I can't remember what the name of it is, but anyway.
Oh, dude, yeah, that CGI, is it?
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
So they've been doing that shit since fucking Sopranos fucking mom died. The season. And I think that they did it for Justice League too. Like Superman was playing another part or something, and he had a fucking beard, and they wouldn't let him cut the beard, and so they had to put like a fucking CGI over his face. So that's possible. Or per your point or our original point, they could just do really selective, what they're showing us. They don't have to show us the whole shebang. They could just show us, well, here's him taking a piss. Here's him doing this. Here's him doing that. I mean, dude, the fact that's taken them this fucking long is so incredibly suspect. Incredibly suspect.
What was that guy's name again? I'm trying to bring it up and take a look at it. What was that psycho's name that they're claiming that did that shooting? Anyway, but yeah,
I totally forgot too, bro.
Yeah, I was going to try to bring it up, but yeah. So yeah, I with that whole video and everything that they release, I'm sticking to it that this guy was either coordinating, some type of a weapons deal. Something went wrong, something went south with him being off the grid. How he was, that just says like some type of CIA or something all over it, that when people are off the grid that much where they have no digital footprint, it's because they know the system. They know how to remove themselves from it, to make sure that they're not tracked, that they're completely covered on their actions and what they do.
Yeah, but I mean, well, that's the angle. I think that's the angle they're going to take for overall privacy. Like if you want any mode of and you hear people say it now too, and they're like, "Oh, what do you have to hide? What do you have to hide? What do you have to hide?" They're like, "I don't have anything to hide, dude. I just don't need some private company or the government knowing when I'm ramming some chick doggy style over my bed. Like, it's none of your fucking business. Like they don't need to know every facet of your life. I mean, and the fact that we've taken something as sacred as privacy and thrown it out the window. If I'm being honest, dude, it's become irrelevant to many people. Like, they just don't give a shit. And I think a lot of the social media thing, yeah, some of it's okay and whatever, but a lot of it is just straight up fucking boredom. Like, it's people who want to convince you should be envious of their fucking life. Right. Or look what I'm doing now. Look what I'm doing. Like, are you that fucking lonely that you need to take a fucking picture of a fucking martini? Like, it's incredible. And you go, anytime you go to dinner or out or whatever, you see all these fucking people with their phones out, like taking 36 fucking pictures of a fucking bread roll at the table. It's like, what the fuck? Do you really have to like announce it to your 400 acquaintances that fucking you're eating masta fucking choli right now? Like, no one gives it. And that's the greatest fucking tragedy. No one gives a shit. Like, right. No one cares. But let's pretend that we do, because that's the really nice thing. Like, so yeah, I mean, again, to each their own. If people want to fucking post every time they take a piss, go ahead. It's none of my fucking business. It's your life. But and all these fucking kids like ruining their lives, like putting shit out there that's going to be out. Oh, dude. Yeah, dude, it's out there forever. Oh, dude, I have a lot of, and I don't know if you've seen this too, I have a lot of buddies getting like their fucking babies like Facebook accounts. Like
what? No,
dude. Well, yeah, the kid isn't obviously on there posting dick pics or anything, but they'll reserve a Facebook account for like a 6-year-old or a 1-year-old, and it's like, and all this shit these kids could post from age 1 to age 22 that's going to be out there forever for employers, for significant others, for the government, for Facebook, you could do some really serious damage when you're stupid as fuck because you're young. You could do some really serious damage to the rest of your life. Whatever. It's not my kids; they're your kids. But parents beware. Don't have your kids fuck up their life when they're 15. It just fucking. It's incredible to even think of.
Yeah. Hey, if you look at the Hangout, I have the Paddock video here up on the Hangout.
That's his name.
Yeah,
that's
his name. It? You're able to see it?
I could see the picture, but I can't. There you go.
I'm gonna play it right now. So here's the video. Let's see if I can maximize this. My kids are home. I can tell you how many bandwidth. Here we go. So this is him.
Ooh, who's she? Sorry.
Focus, Gus.
Sorry, dude.
Okay, so that's nice. Maybe you can believe that's the best camera they can get, from a casino. See, that looks that I don't know. You'll see here in a minute. So that's some of the luggage he's bringing in.
That doesn't look like 46 ARs.
Having some snack bags. It'll show up. You'll see the suitcases here in a minute. So most of the time he was just gambling. Here you go. So check that out. Well, here are the 18 bags I need for my room. I'm traveling by myself.
And they all are really heavy.
Yeah. And you'll see here in a minute the vehicle here. Yeah, here's the vehicle when he comes in. Gus, that's the best video you can get from a hotel of this magnitude is black and white, video.
No, well, there's a million other angles that they should have that I don't see. First of all, second of all, that one. I forgot what those things are called. That carry. Are they luggage handler? No, that's the person. That was not enough to carry all those rifles. I think he would have had to make like 4 or 5 trips with one of those fucking things.
Yeah. So anyway, it just goes on, and of course this is released, several months after the fact. But yeah, the whole official narrative that they're trying to push out, I don't buy it at all.
Yeah, me and you have been talking about that shooting since like a week after it happened, just because of and not even offering a story, just with a million questions that still have yet to be answered. It's kind of been like and again the media blames it on he didn't have a footprint, but that is one of the most mysterious. All these other shootings that occur, you know everything about every party involved the moment it fucking happens or within a couple days. This is like the most mysterious fucking shit to this day ever. And even this video you just pulled up, why did it take so long, dude? Why?
Yeah.
They had that shit the same day, next day.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So what were they hiding? That's what I don't understand. Why are we waiting this long to see those fucking pictures?
Yeah, very interesting. Hey, the other thing I wanted to chat with you about, because I know you're going to have an opinion about this, is the whole is it Stormy Daniels, the porno star with Trump, that the media is like, just all over with, Trump, he had an affair with this porno star back in the day. They're trying to make this out like, oh, this is an impeachable offense and all this kind of stuff. Just the insanity around it. Where were they when Larry Sinclair came out with his video of Obama's cocaine, hot tub events with Larry, and Larry was out there talking about this, and nobody paid it any mind at that time, Gus.
I don't even understand what the story is. The country elected a guy who's been divorced 36 fucking times, and he's a billionaire. Do we? So and now what? The media saying, "Oh, he banged a porn star." Well, I actually think he probably banged hundreds of them. I would have. I mean, what what the fuck? Or I don't even know what the story is. Like, it'd be one thing if she's like, it'd be one thing if they were trying to assign like a Harvey Weinstein thing to him, like he raped me or he did this, but he fucked a porn star. And I mean, isn't he like the first president to be divorced or no? Maybe one other was divorced. Anyway, the guy's been divorced twice. Like, the country elected him anyway. So, and he's a playboy, if you will. I mean, there's been no secret about that. So I don't see what the story is. The media did we think he was a fucking Catholic priest before they elected him? I mean, what's the story here? He fucked a porn star. What is she talking about? Like, does he has a third testicle? What's the story? I don't know. Stormy Daniels' attempt to speed up trial with. So what is she?
So apparently, apparently, I think the whole dilemma is this. Okay, so obviously there was some relations. Some little bit of love going on here with Stormy and Trump, and apparently his attorney paid her some money to keep quiet, whatever. Well, her accepting, I believe it was like $133,000. She's now realizing that her story is worth significant much more than that $133,000. So she's trying to get that all thrown out, the hush money thrown out in courts, being able to bring her story forward, which she already is, but regardless of this, Gus, unless I'm thinking incorrectly, is that this all occurred prior to him, becoming president, that this happened. So I don't understand, where was this same media?
People buy non-disclosure all the time. Is that even illegal? I mean, he wasn't trying to hide a crime. He was trying to hide something he might felt was fucking embarrassing. It sounds like this bitch has buyer's remorse. Like, she's like, fuck, I could have gotten so much more if I knew he was going to win the presidency. I mean, so she has buyer's remorse. And I have buyer's remorse 1,000 times the last fucking 40 years of my life too. The difference is I don't go and try to, turn back time and change things. I mean, if she got money and she signed some sort of contract, which I'm assuming she did, then she's breaking a fucking contract, I would think. Again, I haven't dove into the story. Only I thought they were trying to persecute him for fucking a porn star. So I've kind of, and I know it's been dominating the news cycle the last couple weeks, but I've been ignoring it since day one, just because I'm like, they don't get it yet. Like, no one gives a fuck that this guy has gotten tons of pussy the last 20 years. No one cares. I mean, he judged beauty pageants. So yeah, if she wants to break a contract, then maybe she'll get sued. I mean, I'm assuming they have a contract for her to shut the fuck up, not to hide a crime, but not to reveal an affair. And if she's breaking that contract, then she might have to face ramifications. I mean, I think this is what's going on. I don't think if he had done something criminal, then we'd be having a different conversation. But I think this is just something of, all right, he fucked a porn star, didn't want one of his ex-wives to know about it or something, and gave her fucking NDA money or something.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's the media that continues to really push this narrative and everything. It's like, well, wait a minute. Then at that time, Senator Obama, who was then running for office, where were they at the same time that Larry Sinclair was coming forth and had his press conference, talking about all these things in Chicago with Larry, the cocaine, the sex, the lies, everything that transpired there? Why does Obama get a complete get out of jail free card, and now they're playing this with Trump? It doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, it makes perfect sense, because Trump is not a homosexual Muslim communist. Because if he was, he would be getting a free pass as well. This, like everything else, and maybe we're guilty of this too. This is all about ideology. They cannot believe the son of a bitch won, still to this day. They cannot believe that he's not a raging fucking commie like they are, and it infuriates them, dude. Even some of like my moderate buddies are starting to come around. And it's been what now, a year and a half since he won. I mean, and my buddies are like, you know what, man, we were kind of fucking. They had us scared at first, but after a year and a half of like the boy who cried wolf bullshit, you realize they were doing this same shit with Bush, and they were doing the same shit with every time that they were doing the same shit with Reagan. Like every time there's a Republican in office, he's Hitler, he's Hitler, he's Hitler. Like there could only be so many Hitlers until the country's like, oh, nothing's really going wrong, nothing's changing. So finally, their hyperbole, their bullshit, even again, and I think Trump's approval ratings like the highest it's ever been right now. Their shit's just getting old. Like I think, dude, Saturday Night Live finally did a thing like there was a Bachelor or Bachelorette parody where it was they were talking about Russia is bullshit. Like the Russia investigation's not happening. It's
wow, I didn't see that. That's
hit SN, like Google SNL Russia investigation, so SNL Bachelor Russia or something like that, and you'll see it's they've started to given up on it, dude. Like this was all a fucking myth. It was all a joke, and I forgot who it was. No, they got it bombed with put Bachelor in there. Oh, there it is. Robert Mueller can't commit to collusion. That's the one. It's really. Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's like we don't have him on it. Like it didn't happen. Even the liberals, like even SNL, they're a little, and they're starting to realize like, oh, we've, this whole thing is bullshit. And I'm not sure if it's Shapiro or Gavin that even brings it up, but they're like, you could only put so many Hitlers in your pocket. You can't keep dropping. You can't keep dropping Hitler every 5 minutes, because once eventually people are like, oh, they're not putting gays in ovens, like and nothing's happening. People start to realize like, all right, now everything you say is full of shit. That's why you have to be careful. Like when you're beating the drum and you're pontificating such fucking bullshit, that if you keep being wrong time after time after time after time, dude, we make fun of the sheep all the time, but even the mainstream sheep out there are like, all right, this has become ridiculous. Like enough's enough, dude. Like how many times do we need to see Oberman crying on fucking TV? Like this is it's a joke. And many of us, you, me, many of us in our space, we've been laughing about this since day one. Like, yeah, Putin's hiding under your bed. Okay, dickhead. But a lot of these fucking sorry motherfuckers believed it at first. We thought it was 17 agencies. Like, okay, I don't even think the Coast Guard knows Putin's under your bed. Like, okay, yeah, it's a joke. The whole thing's a joke, and they're gonna move on to something new, dude. I don't know what.
I'm gonna take a shot at it. Okay, I may be completely wrong on this, but I'm gonna take a shot at it. I'm gonna say that you probably were not at the March for Our Lives in Washington, D.C. this past weekend.
March for Our Lives? Dude, I was in fucking Vegas for March Madness. I was knee deep in $1,000 prostitutes. I wasn't at any march. You fucking nuts. March for Our... Dude, those little millennial commies that think they're off limits because they're 15.
Right.
Yeah, it's this whole thing is the kid thing angers me more than anything, because they're basically, it's kind of, now they're trying to tell us that children are a protected group too. Like you can't the same thing they do with trannies and Hispanics and Muslims and gay. We have a new protected group. If you're under 18, big asterisk coming here, big asterisk. If you're under 18, as long as you're a liberal, you are a protected group. So now these kids are allowed to tell us how we should vote and how we should think, and we can't attack them because they're. And the big asterisk and takeaway for all this is if you're a liberal, and it doesn't matter if we're talking about the color of your skin, your sexual preference, your income level, your religion, your age. The caveat, the big asterisk, you will never get fucked with if you're a liberal. If you're not a liberal, then you have a serious problem. You are not in any protected group, which, dude, it's all about ideology. Period. It's what ideology do you prescribe to you. If you love individualism, if you love freedom, if you love liberty, if you love the First and Second Amendment, you are not a protected group. None of those other checkboxes matter. If you don't believe in any of that, and you believe in collectivism and socialism and equality of outcome and all those little, fucking Marxist bullshit theories, then we'll find a protected group for you. Don't you worry about it. It makes me sick that they're using kids. It makes me
utterly. It truly is disgusting. Absolutely.
Yeah, they're like, how could it's beyond disgusting. And dude, did you see the story of the one shooter was just shot outside the high school before he could do any damage by the
armed... nobody covered that. Yeah, nobody covered that at all.
No, dude, crickets. That illustrates the other. That illustrates that the point of the other side might be valid. Yeah, cricket, dude, total crickets. And dude, every day there's a new a story hidden on page 36 of some local newspaper of armed citizen stops murder, armed citizen stops rape, armed citizen stops this. Every day, dude, it happens every day in this country, but you never fucking hear about it ever, because it crushes their narrative. It crushes their narrative. And I'll challenge anyone to really listen to these people when they go and give interviews. The politicians, the kids, all of them. You really have to pay attention to the linguistics, meaning that all the stats they give out, all the linguistics they give out, they're very careful in choosing their words. They always say mass shootings, not shootings. They always say murders, not murders minus suicides. They're very good at cherry picking data and using the exact correct. And when you see someone go on like a Tucker Carlson, where Tucker is fucking smart and knows all that shit, he's like, yeah, what you're actually doing here is then they don't know what to do. They become a shell the shell of themselves, and they're like, they go right back to their talking points. They basically like study a script. And they get on TV, and if you run into like a Tucker who'll fucking make you eat your balls, then you revert back to something like a fucking moron zombie real quick. And they're very careful with their linguistics. Mm-hmm. It's always mass shootings, and mass shootings are, if you pull up the statistics, like all shootings versus all murders versus mass shootings, there's such like a small God, Stalin said it best. 1 million murders is a statistic. 1 murder is a tragedy or something like that. Yeah. And it's so fucking true. They'll take one thing. They'll take one mass shooting, and while that mass shooting was going on, 200 people got murdered in Chicago, and we're supposed to focus on the mass shooting instead of the 200 other murders that happened. They're very good at doing shit like that. You see it all the time whenever they're trying to push a narrative. It doesn't matter if it's like Black Lives Matter or the assault rifles or whatever. They'll take one story and they'll just that's all you hear about.
1000%, Gus. Gus, closing thoughts. Please make sure to plug Perpetual Assets, how people can learn more about your work. Go for it, man.
My closing thought, we didn't get to talk about it today, but the story just Trump said something today, and I saw it on Zero Hedge right before we went live, and that's what I'm going to be looking at, and hopefully we could talk about it in the upcoming weeks. I hope it's not bullshit, and I hope it's real. Is my closing thoughts are all on Syria. And I've been saying this since he got fucking elected, if we end up out of Syria and Assad stays in power, this guy isn't totally full of shit. It's just that simple. And I've been saying that because all the neocons, all the commies, all the Western fucking oligarchs, since day one, this was not about fucking ISIS. This was not about fighting terror. This was about regime change in Syria. So if Trump has the balls to not only go in there, get out of Russia's way, help fighting ISIS, but then he has the balls to pull out without regime change, and Assad stays in power on the back end of this, then Trump is not totally full of shit. He's might be legit from day one. That's my closing thoughts, and that's where my eyes are going to be the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, very valid point. Yeah, definitely keep our eyes on that for sure.
And dude, pleasure catching up as always. And sorry again about last week.
Hey, no worries. It's all good. So, great show today, Gus. Thanks for being with us. And then also perpetualassets.com, right?
Perpetual Assets. Drop that bitch in a browser or drop it directly into the URL. Perpetual Assets.
Wonderful, Gus. A lot of fun today for our listeners. Please make sure to like, share, make sure to subscribe, and thank you for being with us today. And this is Gus and CJ. We're over and out. Take care, everyone.